Good morning, dear children. I hope you all are fine. How are you? Fine? Okay. Then today we are going to discuss our lesson number 2, physical changes and chemical changes. From this chapter, few points we have already discussed earlier. Today we are going to discuss about physical changes. All those who have the book, please take out your book. Others, stay on video. So here is our topic, physical changes. What do you mean physical changes? Here is the definition of physical changes. A change in which no new substances are formed and which can be reversed by reversing the conditions is called a physical change. In a physical change, there won't be producing any new substance. That is the first point from physical change we have to understand. In physical change, there is no new substance formed. Another one, physical change can be reversed. Physical change can be reversed. No new substances are formed in a physical change and physical change can be reversed. Then by joining these points, we can form a definition for physical change here, that is a change in which no new substances are formed and which can be reversed by reversing the condition is called physical change. Okay, understood, students? So now we are going to discuss about some examples related to physical change. First example, you see the glowing of a heater or a bulb. This example is familiar for us, very familiar for us. A bulb glows. When it is switched on, the bulb glows. When it is switched off, what will happen to it? Whether it will break? No. It won't glow. Whether you can see any change in the bulb after switched off? No, we can't see any change. The bulb will be as it is. Okay, but again if you switch on, what will happen to bulb? It will glow. Again if you switch off, it won't glow. So another one, an electric heater, same as it is. Same as it is, electric heater also will glow when it is switched on. When it is switched off, it does not glow. Okay, so the change is here reversible. And also one more thing we can see, that there is no new substances are formed in case of electric heater and also electric bulb. So we can say that these both changes are physical changes as we have discussed here. Okay, as we have discussed here, physical changes early, the definition also we have discussed here. So these both are the examples of bulb glows and electric heater glows. These both are the examples of physical changes. Now we will discuss one more example here, is the thermal expansion of a substance. On being heated, a substance expands. The first chapter we have discussed the thermal expansion of solids, liquids and gases. Here we are going to take once again that same point to explain the physical change. On being heated, a substance expands, but on being cooled, it contracts. Any new substance can you see for these changes? We have discussed ice to water, water to vapor, or vapor to ice, again by cooling you will get ice. Can you see any new substance in these change of states? No, we can't see. We can see some different forms of water like ice, water and water vapor. So we can say that definitely that is a physical change. And also here we can see once we heat something, here is our point, thermal expansion. Once we heat something, it will expand. You must have observed that an inflated balloon often bursts on its own at a birthday party. In birthday party, balloons are bursting its own. Why? Nobody is heating there. Clear? Nobody is bursting there, but its own it bursts. Why? Because due to the bulb which is kept in the birthday party hall, the air inside the balloon that expands. Air inside the balloon that expands, then the size of the balloon increases and at last it will start to burst. So due to thermal expansion it bursts. So we can say that thermal expansion of a substance also a physical change. It can reverse. Okay, air inside the balloon that can reverse if we cool it. Okay, it can contract. Another example is change in state of matter. Once we have discussed now itself about the ice. Okay, well, for example here ice is reversed by freezing of water and vaporization of water is reversed by the condensation of water vapor. We have discussed now itself. Okay. Now at the same time the substance in three states is the same time, that is water can be in a three states we have discussed. This is true for other substances too. Sulfur, sodium, iron, copper, zinc, etc. The character of water can be satisfied for sulfur, sodium, iron, copper and zinc also. Other substances too. These changes are possible. The kinetic theory of matter tells us that in the change, you see here one graph, one chart we can see. This earlier we have discussed many times. Okay, no problem. Once again we can discuss here. By heating, solid changes its state to liquid, and again if we heat the particular liquid, what will happen to it? It will again changes to vapor. That is a form of gas. Only kinetic energy, that is Ke, the short form of kinetic energy, that is Ke. Only the kinetic energy of the molecules increases on heating, and the opposite change. Clear? In this case of, you see in the first chart I told you solid to liquid, liquid to vapor. In this change only kinetic energy of the particles increases. The minute particles we told that is molecule, the kinetic energy of the molecules only increasing on heating. And in case of opposite change, opposite graph you see, vapor by cooling it changes to liquid. Okay, vapor on cooling it changes to liquid, and again cooling it changes to solid. Here what happens for the kinetic energy? Kinetic energy of the molecules decreases on cooling. Kinetic energy of the molecules decreases on cooling. So here in your textbook you can see one more diagram, figure 2.6, that shows the melting of ice is a reversible change. Melting of ice is a reversible change. That is therefore this is a good example of a dash change, physical change. It is a good example of physical change, students. Okay, you understood now what is physical change? Okay, here one more example for us, that is sublimation. The sublimation, the point also we have discussed. We have discussed earlier the sublimation, the point, the last chapter, matter. Okay, are you remembering, students? Are you remembering? Okay, sublimation. What is sublimation? You can say now. Already the answer maybe came in your mind. Okay, the sublimation, the change of state from solid to gas directly. The change of a substance from solid to gas directly is called sublimation. The phenomenon, that phenomenon is called sublimation. This is also a good example of physical change, because there is no new substances are forming, only the state is changing, only the state of substance that is changing. In sublimation, a solid like ammonium chloride, naphthalene, camphor or iodine directly forms vapors. An example, few examples we have discussed in the last class also: ammonium chloride, naphthalene, camphor, iodine. These substances directly changes its state from solid state to liquid, and when we cool, the vapors are directly converted into the solid. The change is reversible. The change is reversible. Sublimation is reversible. The reversible change, that is deposition, that we will discuss in higher classes. Okay, another topic we will discuss the reverse change of sublimation, that is deposition. Okay. Here we are discussing about the physical change. In sublimation, there is no new substances formed. There is no new substances formed, and it can be reversed. So it is a physical change. It is a physical change. Another example is the dissolving of a substance in a liquid. The dissolving of a substance in a liquid. You know that a solid like sugar, salt or glucose dissolves in water. Once we add a spoon of sugar in water, what will happen to it? Can you see after 5 minutes sugar in the water by your naked eyes? Not by tasting, okay? Tasting we can understand that sugar is there. Okay, can you see the solid form of sugar in the glass? Of course we cannot see. We can't see. The substance that dissolves is called the solute, and the liquid in which the substance dissolves is called solvent. Already we had discussed. We know that what is solute and what is solvent. Previous classes we had discussed. The substance that dissolves is called a solute, and the liquid in which the substance dissolves is called a solvent. Here in case of sugar, salt, glucose, solutes are sugar, salt and glucose. Water is a solvent. The solute dissolves in a solvent to form a solution. So finally we can say that solute substances dissolves in a solvent to form a solution. As the solute can be obtained back from the solution by evaporating the solvent. How can we get back this solute substances? How can we get back the solute substances back? By evaporating the solvent. By evaporating the solvent. Okay, students? So, anyway, we can say that we are getting back the original substance. By evaporating the solvent, we are getting back the original substance in case of dissolving a substance. So, according to today's concept, what we can say? This is a good example of physical change. Okay. While dissolving in a liquid breaks up into molecules inside the liquid. How it vanishes? By dissolving a substance in the liquid. What happens? What will happen to the solid substances? How it changes to? How it dissolves? How it dissolves? According to our molecular model, we can explain it. We can explain it. Okay, here you see the diagram. Can you remembering something according to our theory? Can you see? Here solute, this is solvent, okay, Suppose this is a sugar. Sugar it is water, suppose water. Okay. Sugar molecules shows red balls, okay, red balls. Solvent molecules, water molecules shows as blue molecules. And by mixing these two, by mixing solute to the solvent, by mixing sugar to the water, what happens in solution? A solution is formed there. By dissolving a solute to the solvent, the solution will be formed. Then where these sugar molecules arranged, in this diagram we can see, the sugar molecules are arranged in between the water molecules. In between the water molecules, whether there is a space between the water molecules, you see, yes, because water is a liquid, solvent is a liquid. Liquids, the molecules are arranged very freely. Last class we had discussed, we have learnt. So there is space between them in solvent, there is space between them in solvent, or there is space between them, the water molecules. In those places, these sugar molecules will be seated. Okay, will be placed, not seated. According to us, it is seated. According to the molecule, it is placed in between the molecules of the solvent. Here it is water. Okay. While dissolving in a liquid, a solid breaks up into molecules inside the liquid, and these molecules hide themselves in the intermolecular space of the liquid. Okay, hide themselves in the intermolecular space between the molecules we have discussed. Okay, students, you please remember it later also. And the volume of the liquid does not. That's why the volume of the liquid does not change if something is dissolved in it. Okay, I hope you are clear, you understood today's topic. If you have any doubt, you can ask me directly. Okay, students, and tomorrow will come with another interesting topic, that is chemical changes. Clear? Chemical changes. What is chemical changes? What are the examples of chemical changes? That will be discussed in tomorrow's section. Wait for the video, wait for the class, and stay safe, stay home. Goodbye and have a nice day.